Hey everyone, Miss Mel here. As you can see, I am having in frame is my Q-Snap. Over on my Facebook page attached to this channel, I've had a question about the Q-Snap, how I use it, how I tuck up the excess fabric, what happens when I have to move it over stitches. So I thought it'd be really easier for me to make a video about it. So the first thing I'm going to show you is because I've had a lot of questions about this, my Q-Snap Huggy. You can call it a Huggy, cover, grime guard. It has many names. It does one thing, and that is to protect the edges of your Q-Snap in case you fold up your fabric like this from grimy, grubby hands. Even though I keep my hands as clean as I possibly can while stitching, a lot of my stitches do take such a long time that, hey, you know, skin oils are going to get on them. Okay, so my Q-Snap Huggy. As you can see, it is quite wide. I usually make them between 4.5 to 5 inches wide. This one is 2 different fabrics. And just a quick little way to make them is, what you're going to do for the fabric is you're going to measure all the sides of your Q-Snap. So this is an 11 by 17 inch Q-Snap. As you can see, it's quite big. And I apologize for the lighting. It's raining here today, so I've had to try to turn all my lights on and have all my blinds up, and it's still kind of dark in here. But this is, so you go 11 plus 17 plus 11 plus 17, or whatever your Q-Snap is. Add all those up together and add an inch for seam allowance, and that is the amount of fabric you're going to need. So that's going to be the length of your fabric, and then your width. If you want whatever you want your finish width to be, it's going to either be 4.5 or 5 inches plus an inch to make your casings for the elastic. I use 1/4 inch wide elastic, so that means an inch means you can do a double fold casing on either side. And double fold casing means you take a 1/4 inch, turn it up, press it, turn it up a 1/4 inch again, press it, and stitch down the side to make a casing. And now for elastic, what you're going to do is you're going to go 11 by 17, or whatever your Q-Snap is, just 2 sides. That will be your elastic, and you'll need 2 pieces of those. And then this is what you'll get, and it will stretch around. As you can see here, it's quite wide. And what I'm going to do here now, quickly, is try to put my camera on my tripod, and then show you how I put the fabric in my Q-Snap, how I roll up the sides of the fabric so that they're kind of all contained, and then what it looks like with this, how I put the Huggy on to make it look, to contain this. So I will be right back. Okay, so we are back. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to take this off the Q-Snap. And this is basically a clamp of a Q-Snap. It folds onto the side. I'll show you guys that here in a second. They can be, as you can see, they can be a little difficult to take off. Sometimes I will get my fabric to help out. There. When I first heard about the Q-Snap, I'd already been stitching for quite a few years. I didn't find out about Q-Snap until I joined some cross-stitching bulletin boards. The main bulletin board I found out about a Q-Snap was at the Heaven and Earth bulletin board hosted by Yuku, or Yuki, however you want to pronounce it. As I noticed these women working with these frames I'd never seen before, and I asked a couple questions. Someone goes, "Oh, that's a Q-Snap." And I'm like, "A Q-Snap?" They're like, "Yeah, it was made for quilters at first, but then us stitchers discovered how great it is." Now, okay, here it is. This is a Q-Snap frame, and these are the clamps. Like I said, this is 11 by 17, so I'm just going to show you on this one. They do come in many sizes. I know there's a 6 by 6, an 8 by 8, you can do an 11 by 11, a 17 by 17, and then you can configure them in ways that works for you. So here we go, 11 by 17. You've heard me say this is quite a difficult one to work in hand, and it is. It gets tiring to hold this in hand. I'm trying to find a stand that will accommodate a Q-snap. So when I got it, I had to order it online because I hadn't discovered any, because I hadn't been over to the local shop here in where I live, here in Minnesota. I hadn't been over to Stitchville. I only thought you could find these online. So when I got it, that's how it came in the package. It wasn't put together, it was just pieces. So I had to figure out how to put it together. And it's really not that difficult. If you look here, let's see if I can get in the light right there. There are little grooves here on these pieces that are for the larger ones. And if you look in here, you can see them. See the grooves? That's the only thing you need to be worried about when you line these up. They will not go in otherwise, unless that groove is lined up. So there's that. There's that. And then we're going to put one here. Where is it? Just got to line them up right. See? Like that. It's not that hard to put together. That's what I liked most about them, is how well they store. And what I mean by that is how well, just a second, when you have them disassembled, there we go, how little area they'll take up to store. So there's that. And then you got your clamps. Now, how do you get the fabric on here so that you don't have gobs of them out lying all over the edges, trailing off the edges? Okay. I've seen a lot of people just, now this was a lot of trial and error for me to discover this method. As you can see, this is Middle Earth Map, and it is quite a big piece of fabric. I mean, that's pretty big. As you can see, let's see, 1, 2, 4. Yep, that's the edge down here. That's the edge of the pages, I believe, down there. I hope this is big enough, because I'm going to be gutted if it's not. If I remember right, I measured right. That's the only thing that I get worried about with working with large patterns is, did I measure it right? Did I order the right amount of fabric? Am I working on this right? But yeah, because that's almost 3 pages right there. Okay. So, you lay the fabric over like this. Now what I'm going to, here, let me reposition so you guys can see better. There we go. And can I move the light? Okay. There we go. Oh, can't move it. Gotta do it like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put on the clamp on this side and this side, because these sides don't need a lot of fold up. So I'm just going to take a clamp, and the way I put my clamps on is like this, is I go straight down first. First I go straight down, okay? Straight down. Because this is also how I adjust my tension with the Q-snap. Now what I'm going to do, let me move you guys over so you can see this, is over here. Okay. There we go. Over here, you can see I have a lot of fabric. And if I just did this, you know, I know some people, they'll roll it up and they'll put a hair clip there. Now what I've done is this. There we go. Okay. Is I will take it and I will fold it like this, and then I will fold it back. Now it doesn't take care of all the fabric, but it takes care of a good amount. And then straight down, adjust the clamp. So now we'll do that again on the bottom. And I can't believe it, I am already running out of battery. Ugh. If anyone has discovered any brand of battery that lasts for a good amount of time in a camera, let me know. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. Fold and fold, just like this. Grab your clamp. Gets a little hard when you put more fabric into the clamp, but it works. Trust me, I know this works. There we go. Sometimes you have to walk the clamp down. Try turning that edge, maybe. Give me more. Oh, sure. Now that I'm trying to do this on camera, it's not gonna work. There we go. Okay, just a second, guys. Yes, I do break a sweat sometimes putting this on. Here, let me press away from me. There we go. Okay, so now what you're going to do is, this is what I do, is I will turn my clamps to adjust my tension. Okay, there we go. And then I will just pull on the edges to finish, and then turn the clamps to adjust tension. And I can get it pretty tight. See, this is how you do subtle tension adjustments, is you just get back there. This is why it's good with Heaven and Earth, especially, to have that 3-inch border of extra fabric all the way around. Now I just fold that up, and sure enough, I dropped my Huggy. I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back. I picked up my Huggy. Now, with the fabric all tucked up, you can see there's not a lot of fabric hanging except for the corners. And the corners are usually hard to tuck up. So I'll just fold that up like this. Get my threads to stay here. And then I'll take my Huggy and I'll start at the bottom. And I'll just do it like this. I'll just stand it up and just like that. And then tuck in the extra. As you can see, all the fabric is now contained within it. My Huggy has no problem holding the fabric. And I have a nice work area. So there you go. Now, one thing I will say about putting a Q-snap over a stitched area is, I've seen some stitchers is they will start putting like a piece of felt between the clamp and the stitched area. I haven't had to move my clamp over a stitched area yet, so I will let you know what happens when I have to do that. I am thinking about doing the felt method, because I feel like not only will it protect the stitches, but it'll help with tension then too. So there you go, everybody. That's how I load up my Q-snap. Hope you all are having a great day. It's a great rainy day here in the state of Minnesota, and hopefully fall will be getting here soon. I'm sick of the heat. So happy stitches and keep those needles moving.